Welcome everyone to episode 48 of the Jewel Ornaments of Liberation series with Venerable Khenpo Tenzin. We will begin today's teachings with opening prayers. On the yellow prayer book, page number 5. May all Mother Sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all Mother Sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all Mother Sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Dangwe tuji shaje rezon ron shinjama da dunja bungjamba sirja lambo dabra jibuk shaje jabe jadanga janzar dorjan janjin telo narodang mapamala chuja gambo pamodra jawan dugongba gajulama nanja da jon she dananda nazara tamje to lama labala Jesus Lozan yon ten jam zung ala wan ten zhi dun jen zhe be ge le zor da zo lo ju zon ro war sin jia lab do zor ju lam dan ro war sin jia lab do lam zhe wa ze war sin jia lab do zor zhe wa yi yu zan jia war sin jia lab do zor kang ge ten jen zhe war jong ga ba me ba je me ba je ba me ba ta me ba wa me ba ro me ba ta de du me dun je me zhe ba ni je je den Zobe zanje mananje tamba de la janzar do jenje zawa lama jeje gozon do jezen la da da ge julan be da ge demba da sunje je don la bo jen ra bar sunje la do zo Many Rachtele, the Dharma friends. Today I continually teach on the 10th bhumi or the 10th Bodhisattvas level. Some already we discussed. So then today the specific etymology. This we already discussed. Oh, I see. Specific ability, specific purity, specific thoroughly training. This part I already mentioned. Then actually the 10th Bodhisattvas level we called cloud of Dharma. It is called the cloud of Dharma because the Bodhisattvas on this level are like a cloud that cause a rain of Dharma teachings to fall all beings. Then this Bodhisattva who reached on the 10th level, the specific thoroughly training is they have special 7 trainings. So these are I already told you, and then the precious garland also says, because the Bodhisattvas is empowered by rays of light from the Buddhas. So this Bodhisattva who reached on the 10th level, they receive empowerment. We say they receive luminosity, receive empowerment, which is luminosity of wisdom. This the interpretation of materia, and that then it says this is the interpretation of materia and the found in the commentaries of this tradition. It is said in the Tantras that at the end of the 10th level, Bodhisattvas receive empowerment from the Buddhas of the 10 directions and themselves become Buddhas. So Bodhisattva who reached on the 10th level, then the next stage is a Buddha stage. Bodhisattvas who reached on the 10th level, then they practice when they reached on the 10th level, then continually they practice, and then next stage is their next stage is Buddha stage. So these two views are the fact. The same different questions attract different answers, but there is no contradiction between the two. So there during the tantric practice, we say this the Bodhisattva who reached on the 10th level, then they start to attain buddhahood. They will start, but still they have 3 more bhumis. They has to attend 3 more bhumis, because in the Vajrayana there are 13 bhumis. In the Suttarayana there are 11 bhumis. So 11th is 11th bhumi or 11th level is a Buddha's stage, but there is no contradiction between these two. Also, there is mentioned about the 10 directions of Buddhas radiate wisdom light, and through this way, this Bodhisattva who reached 10th power bhumi, who received empowerment from 10 directions of Buddhas. The specific practice through Bodhisattvas on the level practice all 10 perfections. In general, it is said that the place particular emphasis on that of pristine awareness. So I told you there are 10 perfections, as Milarepa mentioned, 10 perfections. Yeah, perhaps in the future we can more discuss about Milarepa's song. So at that time you will get about this. These usually we say 6 perfections, but then there add 4 more perfections. So which are the perfection of method, perfection of prayer, perfection of power, perfection of wisdom. So then Bodhisattvas who reached until 6th level or bhumi, they practice 10 perfections, but particularly they practice other perfections, like a perfection of generosity to the perfection of wisdom. Then bodhisattvas who reached on the seventh bhumi, then they practice perfection of method. Of course, they practice other perfections, but particularly they practice perfection of method. And bodhisattvas who reach on the eighth bhumi, they practice perfection of the prayer. And then bodhisattvas who reached on the ninth bhumi, they practice perfection of power. And then bodhisattvas who reached on the 10th level or bodhisattva's level, then they particularly practice perfection of wisdom. At the same time, they practice other perfections. So we have to, actually I already explained, but I remind you, what is the perfection of wisdom? So perfection of wisdom has three parts. First, it realizes all phenomena are illusion. All phenomena are illusion. Second, it realizes all phenomena are as center space, which means that there's no no nihilism view and eternalism view. Then anyhow, they don't have gross fixation. Then third, it realizes all phenomena are union of emptiness and appearances. So this is very important, yeah. To realize all phenomena are the union of appearances and emptiness. So right now, actually, Teloba told to the Naropa, and he said that, my son, you will not binding or holding by appearances, but you will holding by fixations, craving. So that's where you should liberate from craving. So this is a very, very unique path instruction. So we appears all these phenomena, we appears the forms in our eyes, and colors to our eyes. We appears those things. At that time, we try to practice one test. If we cannot practice everything is one test, but all the colors, whatever forms, whatever shapes, so we try to make one test in the eye consciousness, which means we see different shapes or different designs, different colors. At that time, of course, we can prefer the whatever we have a kind of favorite things, but if sometimes kind of accidentally we have received or we have some strange colors or different shape or something like that, which we have no more interesting, but at that time still internally we say okay, it's okay. So that is, we start to practice one test with colors and shape and so forth, and then one test with the smells, is the fragrances or any good or bad smells. It come to our nostril and nose consciousness, and then we try to keep balance. So this is very skillful. We are going to practice Dharma skillfully, which means if you have some choice here, you have some choice, you can prefer something, then you can prefer your how to say, favorite one. You can prefer that. But in some reasons, if you have received some unfavorite fragrance or smells, at that time you internally you say it's okay. So that means all smells are becoming all smells become one taste to your nose consciousness. And then like a tongue test about tongue and touching feelings about the body. And then there are special is that everything is okay with mind. So all the thoughts make one test. So if you are going to realize the Mahamudra, simplicity or unelaboration, and simplicity and unelaboration are same meaning. Then single pointed, and then one test, and non-meditation. These four, if you not practice these four, then beyond of there, you cannot find Mahamudra. So the generally Mahamudra view, we cannot find Mahamudra view. Generally, we expect one day I will become enlightened. One day I will become Bodhisattva. One day I will become good practitioners. So that's generally we think. This is actually related laziness. Laziness has three types of laziness. So this is one laziness. One day I will. So actually it's a good thing, but this is not excellent. So we are going to improve day by day. Really, in the Mahamudra path instruction said that it's called Shakti. Shakti, Sha means day, one day and one night. We call the Sha in Tibetan. Sha. Ji means increase. You should increase day by day, and then month to month to month, month by month, and then year by year. So increase. So that's where then Buddha is not far from us. Bodhisattvas are not far from us. However, how many times we try to invite Buddhas, thousands of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, eventually what should we do? Eventually we are going to Bodhisattva, and then we are going to become enlightened. That's where we are going to step forward. So it is day by day, month by month. So we try to step forward. So then how should we do is the main thing is to sometimes you know that perhaps I'm talking about this is a little bit the crazy. You feel it's crazy person say that. So right now we are practicing teaching these profound teachings or whatever. There, it's hard to practice or something like that. But eventually we come where? Eventually to attain Buddhahood is very easy. Very easy means I don't have the words in English. Actually, this Mahasiddha Saraha said that it's very special. In the future, I must try to say this in English. Okay, but right now I will show you. Like this, my robe, and I make like this. It's very how to say this? Twist. Right now our mind is like that, and then Saraha said, if you just lose this, the mind comes very nature, like this, very nature. At that time, you found the Buddha nature. So when you found Buddha nature, you attain Buddhahood. So Mahasiddha Saraha said that. So sometimes we have lots of things to do, but eventually we attain Buddhahood in a very easy way, very simple way. But then right now we think, of course, we have question. Okay, then we try to do this. Then we don't do these different difficulty things. Yes, our gurus always tell us that this realize your thoughts. You should realize the essence of your thoughts. In the Sanskrit, is the say partita. Partita. Okay, partita means their natural thoughts, the essence of natural, the essence of thoughts. So we should understand that, but we cannot understand that, and we cannot meditate on it. We cannot rest on it. That's where we are. Why? Okay, why? Then, because we have very thick obscurations. So then, for purifying these thick obscurations, we are going to practice many difficulty practices. This we should keep in our mind. And then the specific practice, order of bodhisattvas on this level practice all 10 perfections. In general, it is said that they place particular emphasis on that of pristine awareness. Right now, I'm talking about 10th bodhisattva level. So you don't imagine, some bodhisattvas doing like that. And sometimes we are look down ourselves. That is not so good. So we have a Buddha nature. I'm going to do. Why not we can't do it? We can do it because of this Bodhisattva, the Bodhisattva level who reach there, their practice is all phenomena are illusion, like a dream, and like a rainbow. Rainbow appears in the empty space. We can see, but we cannot hold it. Likewise, everything is like that. And dreams. In the daytime, we can remember our dreams, but dreams are not. In the daytime, there is nothing about dreams. So in the daytimes, our thinking appearances, and in the nighttime, our dreams are same. There are no difference, no different. So, and then if we improve a little bit, then we try to realize that all phenomena are like an empty space. All Mahasiddhas, they bring this example of the space is the best example of our mind. Space, it does not mean this blue sky. Space means like this empty space. We call it space means like that. So our everything's are like this empty space. For that reasons, eventually everything dissolve into the space. Yeah, how much we have good things. For example, I give you an example. We are practicing Changzhou, and we write names on the paper, and then we burn, and then after we put on some nice place, then all these papers, names put on the papers, papers put on the fires, and then this fire burns all of them, and there are remains small ashes, and then these are just carried by wind. Carries where? In the empty space. So that's where they carried a very good stage. They carried these names are into the empty stage of emptiness, so stage of dharmakaya. So that's where it has a great benefit. But eventually everything disappear in the space, which means they come from space. So then it happened, same thing. Yeah. The specific purity, as explained previously, three causes make the roots of virtue of bodhisattvas on this level extremely pure and powerful. These three causes make the roots of virtue of bodhisattvas on this level extremely pure means they bring countless sentient beings into spiritual maturity. So spiritual maturity we can see into the many through our sanghas, our dharma friends. We use some words, even we use bodhicitta. Their mind is, oh, they likes it. And we talking about the compassion, they feel, oh, they likes it. That means they are maturity into the spiritual path. They become maturity or mature into the bodhicitta, into the like emptiness or compassion. So that's where there are big different these great practitioners and then other sentient beings. So to give an example where I find piece of golden jewelry to be made by a god skilled in crafts. Crafts means making things by hands. Crafts who set it with the finest precious gems and then worn on the head or throat of an empowered king of the gods. It could not be surpassed by any other jewelry of gods or humans. Likewise, the rules of virtue of 10th level bodhisattvas are so adorned with the great pristine awareness that they cannot be excelled. Excelled means surprised by those of any ordinary beings. Sharavikas, practical Buddhas, or Bodhisattvas on the 9th level and below. So that means there's a king, there's a smith, the goldsmith, for example. Then this person crafts or some created new kind of golden jewelry, and then it decorated on the head or neck of the king's ornaments. And then this the king of gods wears these things, and then these things become very expensive. For example, in the Dharma, where we say, oh, these gurus wear something, gurus give us something, so it is precious, like that. So this is example, but in the reality, what should we know is 10th Bodhisattva's realization is cannot excel. 10th Bodhisattva's realization cannot excel by lower levels of Bodhisattvas. Of course, Sharavikas and practical Buddhas, which means they cannot eliminate or cannot overpower. So that means these Bodhisattvas have a great this realization. Their realization is wonderful, amazing, and so forth. The specific realization of the four powers mentioned above, the power over non-conceptuality, power over very the very pure realms, power over pristine awareness, power over actions. Yeah, so this the four powers means that mentioned above. Bodhisattvas at this 10th level realize the state of the power over actions. So power of action means they have more freedom into the karma. Since they accomplish the welfare of beings just as they wish through very type of emanation. So in this case, power of action means also for the sake of mother beings, they can satisfy all mother beings what they want. Therefore, as they wish through very every type of emanation. So they can show many emanations. as mother beings want. The specific state of birth, most bodhisattvas on this level take birth as the king of the gods, Ashuvara, with power over a billion-fold world system. They are skilled in teaching the perfection to all thinking beings, Sharavikas, practical Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas. The full consequence of this is to take birth as the Lord of the pure realm, gods, and as a mighty Lord of domains, of inconceivable pristine awareness. Yeah. Then specific ability in one instant. This is a very short moment. Yeah, one instant, a short moment, a small fraction of time. Small fraction is we cannot fathom. Actually, it's a very short moment. They can enter as many meditative observations as there are pure particles in 1,000 million countless. So that means they enter as many meditative observations, means their realization is increases, and they understand the essence of all this. Essence of all phenomena is quite hard, but there many particles, million is still the million countless. That means we cannot count, but they cannot recognize as Buddha did. But then the next Buddha, the Bodhisattvas who reached on the 10th levels, they are the best realizers. So that's where they can meditate on samadhi. In different kind of samadhi, it's million countless, 1,000 million countless samadhis. So, and also Buddha field and so forth. They can enter the pure lands, thousands, million countless, and so forth. Yeah. Furthermore, in one instant, they can manifest from just one pore of their skin countless Buddhas in the company of incalculable numbers of Bodhisattvas. They manifest as all sorts of beings, as gods, humans, and so forth. So the pore means in that on the body has a small hair. We have hairs on the body has, and then there are small hole. It's we call pore. So from each pore, they can radiate thousands of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and like kings or great people. Great people is very amazing. There is a says in the Mahamudra teaching, if you are great, you meditate well, but if you don't have a good mind, and then you and people who have a good heart, this person is better. Actually, sometimes our this Mahasiddhas little bit talk us very serious, strongly, directly. So that's where what we have to know is that this Bodhisattvas not always radiate like Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They radiate good people, kindness people, very nice people, because they really benefit greatly in our societies. So then, but then we think how it's doing like this. Exactly, it's like electricity. We have many light and many kind of, but we have one plug, the wire, and we plug on it, and then there are thousands lights. It's the how to say appears in the one temple, for example. Then likewise, these Bodhisattvas from their pore radiate lights. Radiates 5 colors of light. We call it light, but it's luminosity. Right now we have lights. It comes from luminosity. It's come from luminosity means right now we have Buddha nature. So this Buddha nature has wisdom. This wisdom appears outside. So that's where this wisdom appears outside. Then what happened is this pure. We are purifying lots of obscurations. We really purified lots of obscurations. That's where we right now we see beautiful things, beautiful lights and so forth. They are not appears from outside. In the reality, they appears from here, from our mind. But sometimes there are kind of natural disasters and some lots of things appears. It also appears from our mind, which means the luminosity which mixed what obscurations. So that's where it appears. So these 10 bodhisattvas, they radiate the kind of these numbers of Buddhas, bodhisattvas, and people, kings and humans. Yeah, they manifest sorts of beings, gods, humans, and so forth, according to whatever is necessary for the training of those to be trained. For example, I haven't been there. I never been there. I have never. What's it? I did not went there in the Bhutan. Bhutan is. I have never been there, but I heard they have a king. So uh, uh, seems they want a king. Yeah. So then, if I go there, I'd say I'm going to teach. I go there. Probably they'll not invite me. Perhaps they're not invite me. Perhaps they don't give me a cup of tea. But if I carry this book, I will teach. But they have a king. They always wow. And then king give teach. King gives teachings. And then they think, oh, so see there's a different. That's where here say according to whatever is necessary for the training of those to be trained. Yeah, this is important. So I am not upset if, for example, Bhutan is not inviting me, but I understand. Oh, they want king, definitely they do it. I rejoice. That's all. But this is example. Example. They can teach Dharma by adopting the physical form of Indra, Brahma, Ashivara. Ashivara, do you know? Ashivara is one gods. Anyhow, they all gods. Brahma, Ashivara, Indra, they are the names of gods. They have different powers. Universal gardens, that's we are recite in the white dharma practice. Yeah, these are we are reciting during the white dharma practice. Universal gardens, monix means chinrezai, vajrapani, shitingarba. They are come to us as Bodhisattva, great Bodhisattva, and they come to us like monks, but they are the Buddha. Sharavikas, practical Buddhas, or Buddhas. So that's where we don't think, oh, Sharavikas, they are lower religious. Practical Buddhas, they are lower religious. We don't look down them because we cannot judge others' mind. So for example, Bodhisattvas, the Buddhist 10th Bodhisattvas, 10th is Bodhisattvas who reach on the 10th level, they radiate from their pore. They radiate Sharavikas and practical Buddhas from their pore for those who only who has interesting to thinking benefit oneself through Dharma practice. So that's where we cannot look down them or they. In entering the middle way, it says, okay, in one instant they can manifest from our poor perfect Buddhas in the company of countless bodhisattvas and also gods, humans, and demigods. That's what we already said. This completes the explanation of the 10 bodhisattvas level. The fifth point describes the level of Buddhahood, the final stage of the path. Now we come to the part. When the demand, like meditative observation, arises, it eliminates simultaneously the obscurations to be removed by the path of cultivation, that is, any afflictions or knowledge obscurations that remain comparable to the core. So this bodhisattva who reached on the 10th level and then practice the radiate lights and radiate these humans, gods, and practical Buddhas, and so forth. At that time, they are practicing. That is how they are practicing. When future we will reach on the 10th level, we should practice the same way. And they do like that. They cultivate great merit, and they gain the great realizations. Eventually, they start to gain the spatial pristine awareness, which we call the demand like meditative observation. Demand means very strong. Of course, it's expensive, but very, very strong. It's like a king of the stones. So it's cannot break easily. So that's why this their samadhi is right now we have how much pure samadhi and mindfulness, but some thoughts interrupt our mind, our meditation. So these practitioners, they cannot, this demand like meditative observation cannot be destroyed by other afflictive thoughts. That means they're very pure, and the source of all the Buddhas that arises there in their mind. So at that time they purifies, eliminate subtle knowledge of obscuration. Subtle knowledge of obscuration, right now we don't understand, do we have that or not? Because we have gross obscurations. So this is their final purification, object of purification. The agent of purification is demand like meditative observation. Is agent of purification. Base of purification is subtle obscuration. And then they reach on the 11th bhumi and they start to attain Buddhahood, actually. Right now we are talking about the Sutara, yeah? So, the achievement of this level is described as Bodhisattva's level. These levels are accomplished over the span of 3 countless cosmic eons. During the first great countless eon, the Bodhisattvas traverses the level of practice motivated by aspiration and achieves the state of the joyous. Further, this is all achieved through constant effort, without which the achievement will not take place. Okay, so these Bodhisattvas reached on the 10th bhumi through the Buddha's stage. They practice for 3 countless eons. But then we think, if we are going to practice 3 countless cosmic eons, it's so difficult. This is a misunderstanding. Misunderstand means then this Bodhisattvas practice three cosmic eons for what? For other beings. For other beings. So they are very they are ready to attain Buddhahood, but still they don't attain Buddhahood. They come back again for benefit. They don't rest in the Dharmakaya stage. They come back and sometimes they show us like a life of a dogs. So many people keep dogs. Dogs benefit many people. It helps free from loneliness and so forth, and protects. And there are lots of benefits. And cats, and then birds or other things, and then kids. Or so we always don't think, oh, this is my kids, so it's ordinary. They don't know anything. Don't think it's possible some kids are really this the 10 Bodhisattvas particularly come to you to benefit. So not only benefit us, all of the beings. So that's it's very important to know. And then so that's where there's some think, oh, I cannot practice three countless cosmic eons. No, this if you are going to attain Buddhahood, you don't spend three countless cosmic eons, particularly for you, and you can attain Buddhahood. But when you realize the Buddha nature, but then these Bodhisattvas are all amazing. But then here I will tell you about the cosmic eons, great cosmic eons. So probably you would like to know about this. So one great cosmic eon has 80 intermediate eons. 80 intermediate eons. One great cosmic eon has 80 intermediate eons. And the 80 intermediate eons are made up of 4 sets of 20 intermediate eons. 4, 20, then 80. Yeah. So that's where it's made up of 4 sets of 20 intermediate eons. The first 20 span is lifespan, okay? Span the creation of our world, this mother world. So right now I'm talking about the one kind of system of the Buddha Dharma. So that's where there are different ways explained, but today I tell you through this way for make more sense. So making more sense. So this word create by karma. So it suddenly appears, not like that. It's create means it's empty space, and then wind blows, and then there is a established first is this empty space, and then wind, and then earth, then fire, and then then water, then fire, so forth. Yeah. So the elements. So it took 20 eons for establish this universe and these beings in this world. Okay, 20. And then second 20 is the duration this world remains. So this world can remain 20 eons, for 20 eons. But then how long 20 eons later we will know. The third 20 is the destruction of this world. So generally we say impermanent. Eventually this earth is also disappears. So that's where, but it takes 20 eons. Then fourth 20 is the empty period. No Buddhas. and then all thinking beings are like just consciousness. So the total there are 20, 4 types of 20 eons. So total there are 80. So one intermediate eon created by the 4 types of 20 eons. How the first 20 intermediate eons are measured is the length of the time it takes for human like spine to decrease from countless age down to 8 years. 8 years, yeah. The second and third 20 are measured by the length of time it takes for human lifespan to go from 80,000 years down to 10. I make mistakes. So for humans, length of the time it takes for human lifespan to decrease from countless age down to 10 years. So 10 years. Then the second and third 20 are measured by the length of time it takes from human lifespan to go from 80,000 years down to 10 years, and then back up. The fourth 20 is measured by the length of time it takes for human life 2 cycles between 80,000 and 18 times. So that's so anyhow, how this the eons will increase those things, lifespan. So in the beginning list, our life is countless. Our lifespan is countless because it was the empty period. In the empty period, we have consciousness. That's all. But then this universe established this universe, and then over this aggregates and all of these things appears. So then slowly our lifespan is 80,000. Our human being can live in this universe 80,000 years. Now it's so unfathomable, yeah? It's really unfathomable. But then it's step by step reduce. How should it reduce? After 100 years, it will reduce. Each after 100 years, reduce. So eventually our lifespan is 10 years. 10 years. Right now, sometimes the dogs, they say their lifespan is 9 years, but some dogs can live longer than that. So right now, this still it is a good time, but it's a year, not after 100 years it will reduce. So our lifespan will become 10. So kind of these 10 to 80,000 years go up, come 1 gallon, kind of these 18 times. 18 times. So 18 and then 1 plus 1, what is that? From countless lifespan to the 10. This count 1 and 10. And then from 10, last one's 10 to increase from the lifespan is 10 and then increases until 80,000. Again increases. So total 20. So 20 eon means like that. How established 20 eon. And then we counting about, there are many ways to counting. For example, our life, we call 12 years. 1 to 12. We call is old year. One old year. 12, and then 22 years we call 2 old year, and then something like that. So we counting like this way. Then this the eons we count through this way. It started from small, kind of a small number, and then we count like this way. Hopefully you are a little bit make sense about the eons, and then you more focus about that if you like to understand about that. So but then here, during the first great countless eon, the Bodhisattvas traverses the level of practice motivated by aspiration and achieve the state of the joyous. So first eon, there's a 3 countless cosmic eons. So this first cosmic eon, countless cosmic eon, at that Bodhisattvas started to practice about the accumulation of a path and path of application and path of and then first bhumi. Until there they practice the only that part for the sake of, for the benefit of us. And then further, this is all achieved through constant effort, without which the achievement will not take place. In the second great cosmic eon, the Bodhisattvas transcends the joyous. Joyous is the first name of first path. Yeah. Why do we call it joyous? Because joyous, because they see wonderful realization. They realize a great thing, and they see they can benefit many beings. That's why they are this path called joyous. Works through to the 7th level. So during the second cosmic eon, Bodhisattvas practice from first bhumi to the 7th bhumi. The further reaching, they achieve the level, the unshakable. Unshakable is the 8th level. Because they don't have afflictive emotions, they have only knowledge of obscurations. So this unshakable means that. Right now, our mind is called shakeable. Shakeable means afflictive emotions arises in the mind. It carries away our attention. That's where it's called shakeable. But the Bodhisattvas who reach on the 8th, they reach the unshakable level, Bodhisattvas level. This is precisely the way it happens, because Bodhisattvas with pure attention will definitely make this effort. In the third great cosmic eon, the Bodhisattvas traverses the 8th and 9th and 8th and 9th level and attain the 10th. Cloud of Dharma, some apply themselves to these most diligently, and thereby reduce many sub-eons of progress into one. Some even reduce many eons work into one, but there are no who reduce the countless eons into one. It should be known in this way. Okay, so this the one thing is important. What is that? That is Bodhisattvas. There are 3 countless eons. First, the path of accumulation to the first bhumi, the Bodhisattvas practice for one countless cosmic eon. And first bhumi to 7th bhumi or Bodhisattvas level, then Bodhisattvas practice for second cosmic countless cosmic eon. And 8 to 10th, then Bodhisattvas practice third count this custom eon. So it's so long, very long. They practice for a long time, but as I mentioned, it's real. They spend this time for the sake of us. For the sake of us. For example, Gampopa, he was one great disciple of Shakyamuni Buddha, and then at that time, if he should attain Buddhahood, he can do, of course. And then Buddha asked, "Oh, I have a king of meditation samadhi. Who should keep it?" There are thousands of bodhisattvas there. No one can say that I can do that. But Gampopa, his previous life, he stand up and he said, "I will do. So that's why please teach me." So at that time, and right now is little different. Right now, we bring back books and we teach, kind of voluntarily teach, and then you like to listen this or not. It's your decision. But then Buddha, how taught by Buddha is, Buddha said, "Oh, I have a kind of this special teaching like a king of samadhi. Who would like to keep it for benefit of all beings?" And then the samaya means like that. They say, "I will do," bodhisattvas. They not easily accept, but after accepted it, then if they are going to make a hole as big mountain by fingers, they tried. So that's where the how to say, Gampopa, he also did that. So then Gampopa, he also not only became like a spiritual master, he did what? He became great doctor. So through this way, he benefited many beings. After he become Gebshi means Kadampa master. Kadampa master is from Shakyamuni to the then Atisha to the Dromtumba. Dromtumba is the first Tibetan Kadam master. And then through this way, goes the Gelug tradition. Gelug tradition also coming through this way. But then Gampopa follow this Kadam practice, practices. He is a great Gebshi, great master, become great master. And then he come to the Kaju tradition, this Malarepa. So that's where then he make two great rivers, make unions. So this is the Sutarayana Mahamudara and Vajrayana Mahamudara make union. So that's where we are so grateful, particularly grateful for the Gampopa. So he already have opportunity to attain Buddhahood, then but still he remains in this world and benefit us. So bodhisattvas are like that. We also should do the same thing, because before we attain Buddhahood, we should become bodhisattvas. So then all lineages, the Kaju, Nyingma, Satya, Gelo, all of these practitioners are really great bodhisattvas, mahasattvas. So that's why we should respect all of them. How much we can respect, we have more benefit. They do not expect the authentic practitioners. They do not expect that these beings were respect. Almost they understand the beings were not respect, because this Mother Singchen being's mind is full of afflictive thoughts. So that's where they have lots of these thoughts. They know, so they not expect. But for us, we try to our best, and then we receive great blessings. Especially this Kaju tradition. Now, actually, all tradition, but right now it's related. This Kaju tradition is a tradition of a blessing. So blessing and one's devotion and then Guru's blessing we realize the our pristine awareness. So that's why if we arise over devotion, faith, it has a great our self's benefit. This benefit, no one still this benefit no one takes away, no one steals it. So it's always remain with us. So it's very important, as I mentioned, if we arise this devotion in the mind, it's really I directly say that is maybe many people disagree that it's okay because the way of teachings is cannot agree that. Otherwise, when devotion arises, faith arises in the mind, really is joys, four joys. The four joys are really one of four joys. I can say four joys, one of four joys, because it's a whole. For example, morning to the until lunch, you arise the devotion in your mind. Your mind is very warm, and your mind is very kind of pleasant. So you automatically many thoughts ceased. Ceased means generally we how to, oh no, I'm angry, so I'm going to apply antidotes, and then we try to eliminate it. So then still there's some difficulties, yeah. But we arise faith and devotion in the mind, and then our mind is very relaxed, peaceful, and still warmness. So it's like a in the mind some like a smell, yeah, smile, smiling, smile arises in the mind, and then many ordinary thoughts automatically ceased. Ceased means it's reduced, stopped. So that's where it's very important. And then we always say, oh, four joy is important during the Chaka Samvara practice, especially the four joys practice is that these are during the He Vajra. During that time, there are four joys, garland comes down and goes up through these practices. If we don't have a devotion, first, the four joys is just a name on the book, remain on the book. So that's why we don't have feeling. We think, oh, four joy is important, but we don't have this feeling in internally with the body and with mind. So that's why it's so difficult. We can count the four joys, joy, sperm joy, so forth, but inner joy or whatever. But the real things really arise joy. And I'm not a great realizer, and I'm not a great practitioner, and I'm not a great knowledgeable person. But till now, I heard many kind of teachings, profound teachings, like Mahamudra teachings, and these Mahamudra's path instructions, Zopa Chenpo teachings, the path instructions, all the kindness of all of this. It's real living Buddha's kindness. So I receive. Now sometimes I'm really I'm by myself a little bit shy, or sometimes kind of a little bit should punish by myself, because I receive if all of these path instructions and my body stand up here and I sit up on the path instructions there, and these teachings and empowerment, they are taller than me, more double taller than me, but still I'm here very with a strong grasping, afflictive thoughts, being as a very normal person. It's really like that. So that's where the we don't always thinking some image things are outside of our mind, outside of our body. We always try to melt our mind, melt, let it melt, and then the bliss, joys, they arise, and then we arises the luminous light of luminosity. So and it has a great benefit. So I cannot judge your mind, but only I can judge my own mind. So I trust you all really great practitioners, but then you are going to improve. So don't waiting for how long we should wait for improving these realizations. If we are waiting for them, then it's how to say uh, the imprint of negative thoughts become thicker and thicker, and then it's so difficult to melt. That's where okay. So this is if we okay, then this concludes the 10th chapter, explaining the spiritual levels of this ornament of precious liberation, a wish fulfilling gem of sublime dharma. So so that what I try to say, that is the moment I go continually. So all of these path instructions, there are no different saja. I really listening lots of profound teachings from sajas and the gelos and the kajus, nyingmas. They all eventually what they say is they come one place, bliss, and second is devotion. Really. So that eventually they come in the two paths. So that's where if we are going to gain some realizations, we want devotion and we want faith, and then we can understand nature state of mind. Okay, the bodies of a perfect body. Okay, now 20th chapter. Okay, the bodies of a perfect Buddhahood. So now, until now, we are discussing on the bhumis levels. Perhaps you are pretty interesting about that. Perhaps a little bit. Oh, what is this? There are lots of numbers. Or so. Are you teaching mathematics or are you teaching dharma? Probably you have the questions. But now it's talking about the result. So there is a to expound the land. Expound means explained. Yeah, it's past. Expound the land. The results are the bodies of a perfect Buddhahood. So results are Buddhahood, bodies of perfect Buddhahood, when the paths and the levels have been completely traversed means traveling, yeah, traversed as described. Described means explained, yeah, above, until first bhumi to the 10th, yeah, above. The Bodhisattvas because Bodhisattva becomes a perfect Buddha within the three bodies, kaya, or embodiment of enlightened mind. Okay, so bodies and kayas, what is different? Generally we think, oh, bodies means general or speak, kaya means spiritual words. Yes, right. But still there is some understanding. Bodies means actually the one form of or gathering of the gathering of many kind of the aggregates, compounded productions, compounded phenomena. Kaya means gathering of many good qualities. So kaya and the body is slightly different. Actually, the kaya means we politely say their body, but this is also important to understand. Therefore, it says in Lamb for the path of awakening, Buddhahood and enlightenment no longer remain distant. So if we understand that, then they are not far from us. Yeah, Buddhahood is described in terms of the following synopsis. Synopsis means actually kind of a root text, but synopsis. The bodies of a perfect Buddha are described through 7 points. their nature, etymology, aspects, their nature, number one. Etymology, number two. Etymology means the meaning of the words. Aspects, classification or so on. Presentation, definite number. Characteristic, properties, and particularities. So there are 7, yeah. First, the point concerns the nature of a truly perfect Buddha. It is described through its perfect purity. So, perfect purity and perfect pristine awareness. Perfect purity means when Buddha's being as a ordinary being, they accumulated merits. So that's where we are. The special way of method to accumulate merit is preliminary practices and the circumambulations, prostrations, and so forth. Yeah, and then Buddhas being as Bodhisattvas, they practice. They start to eliminate afflictive emotions and some part of knowledge of obscurations. So purify or eliminate means they cling. They cling those negative thoughts on the surface of their mind. But then Buddhas become real Buddha, yeah? Then what they display or what they show us is they show us kayas. So there's counting 5 kayas, 4 kayas, 3 kayas, 2 kayas. So we will know all of these details later. But this part is very important because this time, if one is quite hard to understand about the 10 levels, it's fun. It's in the Suttarayana. In the Vajrayana, slightly different. It's explained in different ways, but it's fun. But kayas are very important. You, especially your Vajrayana practitioners, want to know kayas. Then it helpful. So through the perfection, purity means so in the future always, what is the nature of Buddha? Perfect purity and perfect pristine awareness. If the sun, the clouds moved away, the sun shine. This nature. Likewise, or if we purify the obscuration thoughts and afflictive thoughts, then pristine awareness naturally radiate there. So that's a it's perfect purity means that all the affliction and knowledge obscuration. So affliction, actually the affliction is in the Dharma explain that affliction means nyumong in the Tibetan Dharma words. Nyumong means these thoughts arises in the mind, it destroys peaceful mind, and then its actions are become very wrathful. It's ready to utilize harsh word, ready to harm others because of the afflictive thoughts. So then, and obscuration means it's covered. It covered the over pristine awareness. Knowledge obscuration, which were being eliminated. This is important. Eliminated means purify. During the paths and the levels are completely eliminated. Subsequent, after that, subsequent means after that, to the diamond-like meditative observation. These the other obscurations, such as those impeding means getting in the way of, impeding various meditative attainments, are subcategories of the two main obscurations, and hence disappear with the elimination of those two. Those two means the two kind of obscurations, the obscuration of knowledge and afflictive emotions. Yeah. As for the perfect pristine awareness, there are different views. Some say that Buddha have concepts as well as pristine awareness. Some say that Buddhas do not have concepts yet do have pristine awareness, which knows everything clearly. Some say that continuum of pristine awareness is broken. Some say that the Buddha has never possessed any such thing as pristine awareness. However, the authoritative texts. Okay, so now there are different views, and different practitioners says. Some says, oh, Buddha don't have omniscience. Buddha doesn't have wisdom, because there is Dharmakaya. There is so the Buddha means Dharmakaya, so there's no they don't have wisdom. The reason is, if Buddha has wisdom, Buddha will see these ordinary things. So then it's impossible. Buddha's impossible to see these ordinary things. Something like that. Something, oh, Buddha has two kind of omniscience. So two kind of omniscience. One is pristine awareness, and then another is the Buddha, this particularly wisdom, which knows these all phenomena are like illusory thinking. So Buddha has one, the only pristine awareness. But Buddha don't have another wisdom that to see all phenomena are like illusory things. So they have different ways. First, Gampopa mentioned what they think, what they say. So let us know. However, the authoritative text means the text which we can believe. Yeah, text of the sutaras and treatises. Treatises means commentaries. Yeah. The sutaras, commentaries, speak of the pristine awareness of the Buddhas. Of the sutaras, we find in the verse summary of the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, if you want to penetrate means enter. If you want to penetrate the supreme pristine awareness of the Buddhas, trust in this, the mother of the conquerors. This is one sutara name, mother of the conquerors. The perfection of wisdom in 100,000 lands says, this is also one sutara name. A totally pure and perfect Buddha has secured. Secured means found and hold on to. So, sacred pristine awareness. That means Buddha has pristine awareness. Yeah, that knows everything without any obscuration. Yeah, if there's no covers, then everything see clearly. Like that's where Buddha has pristine awareness, which can see everything. Yeah, it mentions that. Many state mind on pristine awareness are also to be found in other sutaras. Of the treatises means commentaries. we found in the ornament of Mahayana Sutara. You should know that just as when one sun ray shines, all the others are shining too. So it is the case also with the pristine awareness of the Buddhas. Yeah, this is a good example. If the sun shining one rays, but other rays also radiate from there. One ray is shining, not others, not like that. So that's where it says Buddha's pristine awareness radiate all the wisdoms. And the mirror like pristine awareness is immovable and is the base for the other three pristine awareness. Other three pristine awareness are of equanimity, wisdom of equanimity, wisdom of discernment, and wisdom of activities. Wisdom of equanimity means it sees all phenomena are like equal into the emptiness. Or discernment means it's understand. Oh, they see small things. For example, my hand, it has part of impermanent. It has illusory. It has emptiness. So they understand, and then particularly they understand the emptiness of my hand, for example. Then activities. Wisdom of activities means how benefit other beings through different methods or skillful means. Buddha pristine awareness is also mentioned in other treatises. The opinion of those who say that Buddha possesses pristine awareness is based on these authoritative texts. The following explains the way in which the Buddha possesses pristine awareness. In brief, pristine awareness is twofold. So that's where in some these commentaries it says Buddha has wisdom, pristine awareness. So or Buddha possessed pristine awareness. So that's where some believe that, and they say, "Oh, Buddha has that." And then they say, in brief, pristine awareness is twofold. Pristine awareness has twofold. Yeah, one, pristine awareness of the way things are. That means is like all phenomena are emptiness, non-duality, and then Buddha rests on there. This is called Dhammakaya. And then second, pristine awareness of things, manifold. Manifold means diverse. So that means Buddha can see all this relative truth. Buddha sees, for example, peacock. Actually, later it says the peacock has eye. The peacock's feather has like a icicles. Buddha knows each and every cycles come from when they come from, why they come from, and how they come from, what cause of this, and on the feathers, Buddha knows very clearly, and then whose consciousness is in the peacock's body. That consciousness before whose consciousness, what person, human being, male or female, or transgender, or then is a practitioner or non-practitioner. For example, Buddha knows everything, so that's where it's a pristine awareness of things as manifold means that. Of this, the pristine awareness of the way things are is the perception of the ultimate truth. Perhaps this is a little too early to say that, but I would like to say this. Generally, what we should know is here, the 7 verses of Tara, which Lord Jigten Sunggung mentioned. Lord Jigten Sunggung, how Lord Jigten Sunggung wrote this 7 verses of Tara, supplication of Tara. So Jigten Sunggung was in front of disciple of Gampopa, or Pamotaba. So at that time he came from far. He came from Kham area. Pamodrba is in the Uzang area, yeah. So then Pamodrba, Jigten Sunggu come, he followed 10 more gurus in Kham area. And Jigten Sunggu, then some people invited him, he has a special blessing. And then some family has some obstacles like a ghost or something like that. They invited him. And he prayed some ritual practices, and then they love, they thought, oh, he can eliminate, purifies this ghost or something. So he doing well. He was doing well there. And then he heard Pamodrba, his name, and then he felt that he really should go there. But recently we have an airplane here to, for example, wherever we go. At that time they have to walk, and then horse. They cannot take many horse because the family has 1 or 2 horses. Then if they take all the horse, then difficult. That's why most time they are going to walk. So on the way he come to the Buzang area. He saw he did not see Gampo, it's Pamodrba. But one night he sleep in the empty space in the night, and then he looked at the sky. He saw a moon. Then he felt, oh, I really rejoice that moon, because that moon see my guru, but I am not see my guru still. So he was crying. So he did like that. Then he went there, the Pamodrba. Pamodrba is very well known, the famous teacher. He has 5,000 special disciples. And then he has more than kind of this disciple. But then eventually the Lord Jigten Sunggu reached there, Pamodrba, and then Pamodrba said that, oh no, I'm how to say, I accomplish all my disciples what I need. So that means Pamodrba, he don't think only for himself how to teach or how many disciples him, but he understand after future how many sanghas benefit for other beings. That's where then Lord Jigten Sunggu arrived in Pamodra. Pamodra is the name of a place, the monastery of Pamodrbas. So then Pamodrba said, oh, it's so wonderful. Now I accomplish all the sanghas. Before he has amazing sanghas, Talong Tangba, and so forth. They have a special kind of it's not a magician. If I use magic, it's miracle powers. Really, they have amazing powers and great practitioners. But then Jigten Sunggu came there, particularly he praises, say good things about Lord Jigten Sunggu. But then sometimes Jigten Sunggu experienced that he came from far away. He has no more clothes, not nice clothes, very like a hip skin, hips is called skin, made clothes, very poor clothes, and he was weak, looks weak at that time. And then so everybody looked down Jigten Sunggu, and he sometimes he stayed a little bit up the like a higher stage than some don't like, and doing like that. But then people don't call him any nice name. People called him the name of his clothes, his hip skin. So he did that. And then there was one Jigten Sunggu's prayer is called, okay, no, it's too long maybe. And then Jigten Sunggu practice from Pamodrba, and then Pamodrba has 8 great disciples. So 8 great disciples. Among them, then Jigten Sunggu was pretty new, and then he has no more food to eat, and then he got leprosy. Leprosy is a very serious disease at that time. It's there's no healing power. There's no way to recover from this disease. So then Jigten Sunggu decided that, oh, now how to say? He thought he will die. So that's why he went to the mountainside, and then he practiced. The place name is Echongpu. Pu means cave, name of cave. So then he practiced there for he decided that he will die there, but then he saw seven taras. So then he saw these seven taras, and then he supplicate these 7 verses of this supplication of Tara. And after then, people who have leprosy, and then they invited him. And then he went there, blessed them, and they also recovered. That's where then Jigten Sunggung is step by step, like increase. Eventually, Jigten Sunggung, historically in Tibet, he is the largest number of the Sangha. So he it's 18,000 Sanghas. Each period of time teaching, 18,000 of Sanghas being together. There are thousands of full ordained monks. So then full ordained monks, I think the one time I translated about that, I made some mistakes. So right now I remember it. But I will not say nowadays. Anyhow, Lord Jigten Sunggung, he was really amazing. The how to say this master and in the one life attain Buddhahood with like Milarepa. So then this what to say? Just found diamonds like. Okay, so then I don't remember where I bring this story. Dharmakaya part, conceptual elaboration. I think this okay, of this persisting awareness of the way over there is the perception of the ultimate truth, aforementioned about which the complete familiarity with such is the culmination. Demand like meditative observation, everything. Dharmakaya, I think, conceptual elaboration, pertaining later applications. I think, yeah, for sure there. Okay, for as mentioned above, when thought complete familiarity with suchness in the culmination. Culmination is the highest point, yeah. Culmination of the demand like meditative observation, every single conceptual elaboration pertaining to objectification. Pertaining means related to, yeah, has been severed, cut. Severed means cut, yeah. Every form of mental activity has come to cease. As such, the ultimate expanse, free of conceptual elaboration, and persisting awareness, free of conceptual elaboration, have merged into a single test, individual like water poured into water, or butter mixed into butter. So like referring to seeing no form as seeing empty space, the great wisdom devout of any appearance had become the ground of all precious qualities. Therefore, it is said, like water poured into water, like butter mixed into butter. The knowable free of elaboration and pristine awareness free of elaboration are totally fused. Feast. Feast means joined together, yeah? Fused. It is this that is called Dharmakaya. Alright. And that is the essential nature of the Buddhas. So water pour into water means there is a co-emergence appearances and mind. In the Mahamudra teaching says that. So that and the water pouring into water are same. If we pour water into water, we cannot separate these waters. When in two pots has different waters, because one size is big, one is small, at that time we can understand. But generally we cannot. If we mix the waters, we cannot understand. So that's why, likewise, our appearances and our mind are the no difference, no different. They don't have differences. So that's why we have to know. There are experiences and views. Generally, we think they are same, but they have experience is like we experience like bliss or clarity or non-perception, and then view or realization means we melt in this experience. We melt in this experience means we understand this experiences, essence of these experiences, and that is we call realization. And then we remain on there continually. That is we call meditation. So that's where. Sorry. There. Now I remember that. Why I talking this? This. If we understand this, the objects means these appearances, and subject our mind are union. At that time, we liberate from many appearances. So that's where the main thing is that Lord Jigten Sungko, he got leprosy, but he freed from leprosy. So that's what I try to say. So freed from this leprosy, because the leprosy is actually appears from our mind, and then one understand the essence of leprosy, then leprosy is not leprosy. So same way the fire, generally we think, oh, this is a fire, and then if we touch this, it burns. But we understand the essence of fire, and then we touch it, it will not burn. So same like that. Such as then people talk of seeing space and think about it and consider how they see space. The Tathagata taught that this is how to see phenomena. Such seeing cannot be expressed by any other example. This is actually Teloba said, so you heard that often, yeah? The pristine awareness of things as manifold as omniscience with respect to conventional and relative truth are same. So conventional relative reality or potential for obscuration has been destroyed by the diamond-like meditative observation, and so there is great wisdom. So they say Buddha has a great wisdom. Yeah, through its power, every space of aspect of the knowable throughout the three periods of time is seen and known as clearly as if it were a fresh purple plum. You heard that? It's a good way to train English. Purple plum. Purple plum is one flower's name. So one flower is we put in the hands. It's very clear. Front and behind, everything can see. So that's where this is a good example. But then this flower is medicine, herbal medicine. In some places have like that. Some places don't have. So this medicine flower is a medicine plants. So it's very good for the level organs in the organs. So, but this flower has a special color. So then this the so purple in the palm of the hand. Palm is this hand, yeah, hand, center hand. The sutras speak of the Buddha's sublime awareness of what is relative in this stream. So that's where what they here try to say is Buddha has wisdom, omniscient, which sees the relative truths. So clearly, the Buddha knows the relative truths. Oh, this is also very important. So we are meditate. This I think very important to in the future. We try to improve this. It's really helpful. Also, we make a great imprint to attain omniscience, stage of omniscience. So that is we meditate on the non-duality. You all great meditators, so you rest on the non-duality single-pointedly, and then after finish your meditation, and you read dedication prayers, and then you see the forms and hear the sounds, and so you try to think this is a dream. This is like a dream. So that's where you don't reject them. You don't reject all these things, but you make a relation with that things through like it is like a dream. Rinpoche told me one time, I think it's okay to say here, it's really profound. Rinpoche said that one day he got some great things somebody offered, and then first we thought, oh, it's so great things, and suddenly he thought, oh, it's like a dream. So then always often this happened to Rinpoche. So that's where we should same way we should practice. So we don't reject, oh, I don't want these things, but it's when how we make a relation with things, and also with the friends. If we have friends, if we think it's friends in the dream, so I don't think it's reduce, destroy relation. I think it's can keep relation for longer. So sometimes friends, of course, we all human beings. Sometimes it's happened up and down. So at that time, oh, in the mind, our mind is completely free because we think it's like a dream. It is a dream, like a dream, and then we're training like that, and then it's really greatly benefit to understand our dream. We don't. Oh, one day I will practice a dream. One day I try to make a union, clarities, and sleeping, and we always waiting for one day. But I think we do it. It's so we can develop a lots of things in short moment. So then I will read only this last this verse, and then we stop here. Okay. The Sutara speak of the Buddha's sublime awareness of what is relative is this term. All the various causes of a single eye, or here it says, in a peacock's tail are unknowable by someone not omniscient. So someone don't have omniscient is so difficult. This peacock's eye, single eye in a peacock's tail, yeah. Yet such knowledge is within the power of the omniscient one. Yeah, I think so. This Buddha has the spiritual omniscience. Then Buddha understand that very clearly. The relative subtle karmic cause and effect. Okay, okay. Let us dedicate. Chanchu senjo remboche ma ji ba na ji jerje ji ba nyam bar me bar ya gone gonde pe war yo.
May bodhicitta, the precious and supreme mind, arise in whom it has not yet arisen. Where it has arisen, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher.
Thank you so much. May you all bodhicitta increase higher and higher. And may you have a happy mind and a healthy body. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, beloved Sangha, for joining us for this teaching. Please join us again tomorrow at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time for Medicine Buddha.